So first, let me explain how I even came to realize that this was a thing. You'll realize that it's actually important, okay? So just bear with me here, right? So, the reason why I haven't been making videos, or I hadn't made videos in the last couple of weeks, is because I have been going to a place called work. And then I tried to rank up in League of Legends after I came home from work, and that ate up a huge portion of my time. So, didn't have a lot of time to make videos, and also I just didn't have very many ideas. So while I was at work, there's an app called iFunny, and like in between my breaks or when like the students are like working on something and they don't need my help, I will go on iFunny and I will look at the memes and I will laugh because that's the point. And so there's this one meme that constantly came up, and it was this one young lady constantly doing cosplay, where she would dress up like an elf, and then she'd make like this weird face. Now I think it's called like a gehi or a hag. I can't pronounce it, man. There's this particular face that like Japanese doujin or like Japanese hentai artists make when a woman is climaxing, and the girl was parodying that face because she could do it very well. And so she got a lot of clout on the internet because of this. I think her name was Belle Delphine. I finally found what her name was because I was curious as to why she was a thing. And so I googled her, and then I come to find out that she does cosplay, I guess. And she makes that cute face, and basically she sells softcore pornography on the internet. So I went to Reddit, and take my advice, don't go there. And then I scrolled down, and I saw a title of a post that said that they don't think that she could be audited by the IRS because she's not American. And I was like, why? Like why is that even a... Like, this is a woman selling pornography. Like, why is that even a... Oh, now I understand why that's a thing. Because if she's, like, on Patreon, which she is, or if she has a premium Snapchat, which she does have, then that means that she has a steady flow of income that is not being taxed by the government, which means she would be a part of tax evasion, or she would be committing tax evasion. And so I was like, oh, but why is this a thing now? Like, I mean, women have been doing this for quite some time now. And then I come to find out there's this whole, like, ThotAudit hashtag that has been, like, a thing for, like, the last 2 days, started by this guy named David Wu. And so now I'm here to talk about it. So, for those of you who don't know, basically, some guy named David Wu found a tweet from the IRS that basically was describing that, like, yeah, these women, or these thoughts, this entire time have actually been subjected to, well, paying their taxes. And if they are not paying their taxes, well, then that means they're committing tax evasion. Excuse me, obviously so. I mean, you know, there's water in a lake, right? What makes this really interesting, at least to me, is the fact that, as it turns out, Roosh V realized that there's a financial incentive in like trying to get these women reported to the IRS. It turns out if you do report someone to the IRS and they find out that the person has been committing tax evasion, then you can receive up to about maybe 30% of the tax money that that person is supposed to pay back to the IRS. It's called a whistleblower program or something like that. It's really hilarious to me how like the government loves to like provide people money for snitching. Like you really get like quite the incentive to snitch. You know, apart from just the fact that people are able to do some shit they're not supposed to do and should not be allowed to get away with it. I'm just saying. But what is hilarious to me is not even so much the fact that there's like people are upset with Thot so much to the point where they want to report them to the IRS, because that's reasonable. What's not reasonable is the fact that people are like seriously defending these whores and calling the men incels for making the memes and making the jokes and saying that they're gonna go get these women reported to the IRS. It's like these people didn't stop and think critically for a second. Like, you know, even if these men are reporting these women, which I don't know how they could, considering the fact that all they really have are like email addresses and not even just email addresses, but usually like just Snapchat usernames. There's no real way that they could report this woman to the IRS because they need a lot more information to do so. So, ironically, considering the fact that most of these whores are totally fine and safe from being audited from the IRS, because, I mean, as far as being anonymous, no one actually knows their real name, or even if they do find their real name, they don't know their real street address. Like, it would take a lot to figure that out. Well, it'll take a lot from someone without autism to figure that out. Considering the fact that most of them are totally fine and safe from being audited by the IRS, they're really, really upset at the fact that people like want to report them. But I'm just sitting here like, nigga, if you pay your taxes, you don't have anything to worry about. And look, listen, here's the thing. Some people don't like taxes. I say some people, but by some people, I mean fucking everybody. Nobody fucking likes taxes. There's not a person on this earth, there's not one person on this planet that like froths at the mouth when they get their paycheck and like, oh, thank God I paid my taxes. I feel so good that I lost all this money that I wish I had. No one likes paying taxes. So like, I mean, are these whores upset at the fact that people are calling them out for being able to not pay their taxes? I don't really understand how they can be upset about it. Considering the fact that everyone else in the entire world has to pay taxes, I don't really know why they think that they levitate above everyone else and think that they shouldn't have to pay taxes for all of no reason. There's not even a reason why they shouldn't have to pay their taxes. They just don't like the fact that there are a bunch of men calling the IRS to audit them so they can pay their taxes. I mean, are you kidding me? Like, you get all of the same benefits from everyone else who's paying their taxes, and I don't really understand what their mindset is. I mean, it's like the hallmark of arrogance here to be upset at the fact that someone doesn't like the fact that you're able to get a tax-free income for more than anything, your literal existence. Because, I mean, like, what are these, like, I mean, you've been on my channel before. If you haven't, this is the first time you've been on my channel. Me and most of my constituents here, my viewers, have already come to the conclusion that a lot of these women are getting paid literally to exist. Look at the the Bell chick, for example. Now here's the thing, I have mastered the internet, okay? Like, I know how the internet works. And did I pay for a premium Snapchat? No. I just know that there are people who like to leak this shit. So, searching around the internet, I was able to find some of the nude pictures that she posted. And the truth of the matter is, she's just some normal English girl. Like, she's not really, I mean, she's cute. Like, she's a very attractive young lady, but I mean, she isn't special or anything like that. Like, you can find chicks like this on Reddit posting nude pictures for free. I really don't understand why anyone should pay any money or go to her Patreon to watch her, like, put on bad cosplay to begin with. I mean, it's not really like she put in a great degree of effort for it, ain't it? But then even seeing a lot of the naked pictures that she posts, half the time she's covering herself up. So now I'm sitting here like, really? You got people paying to get access to her premium Snapchat so they can watch her cover up the stuff that they paid to see? Nigga. Like, it's not even just that these women are getting paid to be, they're just being paid money to be attractive and show off how sexy they are. But most of the time that they're lazy, they're not even committing fully to the act. Like, it's softcore pornography that these guys gotta pay $50 a month for, so they get premium access to a Snapchat. They don't get to save the pictures to look at them later. I mean, it's like, come on, man. Like, first of all, you already have the most, like, easiest, like, weakest job there is, and that is just to satisfy the sexual urges that these lonely guys can't even control. But then you have the audacity to get upset when someone righteously is like, hey man, that's not right. And even then, here's the thing, for all the people who are defending these thoughts, I just have to say, like, you realize that you don't really need to defend them, because, like, paying your taxes isn't going to stop them from being Thots. Like, even, like, to the men who are like, some people think that the IRS is going to stop Thottering, or that this, I mean, it's a meme, and it should stay a meme, because if you think about it seriously, it's like, look, paying your taxes doesn't mean that you have to stop being a sex worker, so you say, or an e-thought. It just means you have to become a productive member of society. You can still be a whore on the internet. Like no one's stopping you from being a whore. It's just that your income's going to get you taxed. Like normal people. And if you think that sex work is a legitimate form of income and is a legitimate form of work, then it should be subjected to tax. You can't have it both ways. I mean, seriously, either you think that it's okay to be a sex worker, and that means that you should pay some of that money back into the government, or you think that you should be able to get tax-free income, which is illegal, and you don't think it's a legitimate form of income. But you can't have it both ways. What's also kind of hilarious to me is kind of how stupid a great degree of the defense for a lot of these women have been. There was this one tweet where this one chick was like, oh, as it turns out, you don't actually have to pay your taxes unless you make an income of $12,000. Which I can understand why she would think that, but it's actually completely totally wrong. what she's confused is that it's not really reasonable to file your taxes for a tax return unless you've made about $12,000. Some people think it's more like $20,000, because the reason why is because they don't really think that the return would really justify the amount of paperwork that it would go into trying to get it back. They don't really think that the return from the taxes would be worth that much. But as it turns out, you still have to pay your taxes. Any income that you receive you are supposed to be subjected to an income tax. As it turns out, this is something that I learned actually. The minimum amount of money that you have to earn over the year in order to, be subjected to an income tax is actually $400. So it turns out, no, if these women are getting an income from a service that they are providing, they are subjected to an income tax. About that, that's kind of my thoughts on the whole ThotAudit thing. Here's the thing. Honestly, do I think that anyone should really, go as far as to, honestly find out these women's addresses and audit them to the IRS and, get their money back? Honestly, it's not really in my nature to go out and try to, snitch on people. But can I say that it's wrong? Well, it's not. I mean, it is totally legal. I mean, sure, in terms of social clout, in terms of the no snitching bullshit thing that people love to cry about, I think they don't think that it's right. But at the same time, I do find it hilarious that there are people more willing to defend no snitching. People are more, they want to invoke not snitching more so than they want women to pay the fucking taxes that they owe. I'm sorry, I said women, but I mean Thots. Because that's another thing that I want to discuss here today, right? I've noticed that a lot of the people who are defending these e-whores are usually calling the guys who don't like them misogynists or calling them incels, okay? Now, incel, that's just an insult people use nowadays, okay? So let's blah, blah. But misogynist. Because I wonder if anyone noticed what the problem here is. Because we have a really big problem here. We have a really, 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 really big problem here. Okay? And so before I tell you what the problem is, I'm going to see, can you guess what the issue here is, my friends? What is the problem here is? Okay, you probably can't guess it. Okay, the problem here is the fact that we have conflated whores from women. These people are calling men who don't like whores misogynists. No. I don't like that shit. No. Okay, I get it. It's really easy to make the joke that all women are whores due to the fact that they use their sexual attraction to get men to buy them things and protect them and keep them safe. I think that can only exist as a joke because it turns out in reality, when two people actually like each other and they mutually benefit, you don't really have whoredom. You have two people doing something that the other person wants or likes because they care about them. In other words, you would have a really good relationship between a man and woman because the two people like each other and they're attracted to each other, more so than the woman is just transactioning her body or her sex appeal in order to get something from the man in a purely quid pro quo fashion. So that's why I don't really think it's fair to say that all women are whores, even though you could make that joke. But when these women are actually fucking internet whores, and then it's come on, guys, no, let's stop calling these guys misogynists because they don't like internet whores. Because I do think it then calls into the question, should these guys even be upset or disdain these women? Is it reasonable for these men to be so angry at these premium Snapchats and to be so angry at the Instagram thoughts and the Twitch streamers and all of that they actually, because here's the thing, the whole thing is just very vindictive. First of all, it's a joke, so no one should really take it seriously, for the most part at least. But let's take it seriously. It's purely vindictive. It's purely just out of spite that these men are making fun of these thoughts or auditing them to the IRS. But then it does call into question, why? Why? You think that these people just hate women, right? You think these people are just misogynists, they're just incels. But it's yeah, but why? But why? But why? See, here's the thing. Truth of the matter is, the anger that these men have for these thoughts, I have always found to be reasonable and for the most part righteous. Now, some of it is just disappointment because these women are lazy and they don't really offer anything of substance or value in their premium stuff or any of the shit that they sell. Like I said, Belle Delphine's premium stuff is, I mean, it's just a skinny white woman covering up her tits. So like, thank you. I mean, you know, I could have found that on Google. I appreciate, you know, paying $50 for that. But it's like, it's not only is like the content lazy, but even the spirit and the nature of the content is completely and totally lacking in honor. And that's really important, see, because what a lot of people don't understand is the reason why these men are upset. And I'm pretty sure these men themselves don't get why they're upset. But I figured it out. It took me a while, but I figured it out. Because the more I thought about it, the more it dawned on me what the real issue here is. Because a lot of people would probably think on the surface, like, why would a man get upset at looking at a naked woman? And it's like, well, that's not the point. That's not the problem. The problem isn't the fact the woman's naked. The problem is the fact that the woman has whored herself out and has taken the easiest route in order to secure an income available. It's not her using any particular skills or using any real degree of intelligence. It's just her literally existing. It's really, really lazy in its nature. And there's really no way around it. These women didn't try to become attractive. They were usually just born that way. And if they put on makeup, they still aren't really doing anything particularly difficult. They're just doing something that's really time consuming. So nothing that they're doing really requires a great degree of skill. And it's really hard to respect anyone that does something that doesn't require skill in its nature. Because the whole point of respect and pride is something that comes from your accomplishments. But if you're not doing anything, then you can't respect it. And men are creatures that operate based on respect and honor. And the whole reason why these men are upset with these women, is because, more than anything else, they're treating these women like men. Yeah, these women are being treated like men. Men with no honor. You ever notice that people get really upset with weak men? People get really upset with effeminate men who are kind of scrawny and have no backbone. Men who steal and rob and sell drugs. People do not like lawless or honorless men. People hate that shit, just with a hot, fiery passion. You hate it, I know you hate it, I hate it, we all hate it. And that's the reason why a lot of these guys who are auditing these women, or joking about auditing these women, despise these whores. Because they're treating these whores like men who are lazy and don't really have a legitimate job or productive job that gives back to society. Because if they treated them like women, they would look at the fact that women just are dainty creatures that honestly are kind of weak sometimes, and one of their most powerful values is the fact that they can be mothers and that they can have children. That would be the highlight of women, but because these women want to be treated like men, we have to look at them as productive members who give something back to society. These Thots don't give anything back to society. Their virtual existence does not provide anything for society other than private ejaculations in someone's home. That's literally all that they do and all that they give. And because men are treating women like men, they have an inherent despise, just an inherent hatred of these whores because they're not providing anything or doing anything worthwhile. And that's why these men are angry. And so the more I thought about this topic, the more I began to ask my question, or ask a very important question, I think, and that is like, why are men angry with women in general? And that's something I'm going to address in the next video. So my final thoughts for this video is this. Honestly, like, no woman really should be scared or upset about being audited by the IRS if you're a whore, because like, they would need a lot of information to really get you audited to begin with. First of all. Second of all, you really shouldn't be upset, about being audited, because you should have been paying your taxes the entire time. And if you've already been paying your taxes, you have no reason to be upset to begin with. So honestly, that's not really the issue here. The real issue is, why are men so angry with Thots and whores in general that they would want to vindictively hurt you like this? And that's something that you whores are not thinking about or considering. And you probably should, because honestly, well, men are the lifeblood of your entire business, so you would think that it would make sense to try to satisfy them. You would think. So yeah, those are my thoughts. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned for the next video. So with that being said, I certainly hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, man, go and click the like button. If you go and click that subscribe. Comment in the comment box below, and as always, you guys have yourselves a great day. I'll see you cool cats soon. Adios.